How do you sum up that performance tonight?
Yeah, they were too good for us. I've said a few times, that they really know what they're good at, and they just stick to it. They're relentless at sticking to what they plan to do. We sort of got off a little bit off the beaten track tonight, and we paid the price for that.
In what sense? Like, the start was strong when Harry goes over. Where do you think things went wrong? There was a kick out on the full, a couple of errors. You can't really afford to do that.
There was a couple of errors there that were, I don't know. There's sort of errors that are forced, and there's errors that, I don't know how you describe that, but like I say, we just didn't really. We didn't get into our plan for long enough periods, and like I say, at the end of the day, that's not an excuse, whatever. Like, they were too good for us tonight, and they've been there and done that. And as I said, they're relentless at doing what they know works for them, and we probably weren't prepared, to go as far as they were, or as far as they did, with our game plan.
Ryan Pappenhausen said in one of the post-match interviews that they suffocated you. Did you feel like it was like that, Harry? That you just couldn't get into the game?
I think it was a lot of arm wrestle early in the game. Scoreline's 14-6, so obviously not a lot of points scored, and there was plenty of battles where it felt like we had a fair bit of field position, or they dominated field position. So that was a big part of the game, but they were able to get themselves out of that and then capitalise, which we probably didn't do well enough. And that's the side they are. They suffocate teams, and they've done that extremely well over the last few years. Like Craig said, they know their strengths and they just stick to them. So it's a good learning for us tonight.
Craig, Cameron Munster on report for allegation of biting. Have you managed to speak to him yet?
No.
Have you been given any feedback on it?
No, not from him, no.
Does it surprise you there was that allegation?
Say again?
Does it surprise you that there was such an allegation?
I don't know. If he thought he was bitten, well, I suppose you're going to say it. I don't know. I seen a little bit of it. What's the name? But I don't know whether he bit him or not, and I haven't spoken to Munster about it, so, I'm sure they'll work that out.
What was your view, Craig, on the no try for Jack Howarth in the second half?
Again, it is what it is, It went up to the bunker and come down, no try. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think, or, with all due respect, whether it was the right decision or wrong decision, I don't know. But at the end of the day, that's not in my control. What we we're always sort of preaching. Our way is to control what we can control. And like I say, that's not in our control.
Ray, maybe this is a question that it's too early to answer. But Penrith have spoken a lot about losing to you guys in 2020 was the making of them, and there's a lot of inexperienced guys in your team that, like Harry, your first grand final. Can this be in some ways the making of you guys and learning the lessons from tonight?
Oh, we think we're going, hopefully we'll be wiser for tonight, learn a few things, and I don't think we're going to lose too many out of our squad next year, so there's a bit of a theory you've got to lose one before you can win one, so hopefully that's the case. But like I say, at the end of the day, we were outplayed tonight. They were too good. It was a tight tussle, obviously, with the score being that. But as I said, they stuck to what they know they're good at, just a little bit better than us and a little bit longer than us.
Craig, you've been around the game for a long time. Can you sort of quantify how good Penrith are as a team? What they've achieved hasn't been done for 58 years. Where do they rank?
Well, I don't think I need to say anything, and you just sort of summed it up. They've 58 years. That's a fair record. So they're, like I say, that's to do what they've done, 5 grand finals in a row and four of them they've won. I don't know whether we're going to see that too often in our game. So, like I say, they've obviously done one hell of a job, and in the last 5 years, and like I say, they've obviously learnt things as they've gone along, and got better and better at things, and put players in their team that suit their style of play. So like I say, you've just got to have a lot of admiration for them. But as I said, they were just too good for us tonight.
Harry, what would you like? What will you take from the grand final experience, and what would you like the lads to take from this experience?
Yeah, it's a hard question, and probably it's hard to reflect on the season right now after a loss like that. But I think we've had an incredible season. I think we sort of learnt how hard it is to get here over the last few years. So we thoroughly, enjoyed this week, but we probably learnt what this week's all about and what it takes to take your game to the next level once you do get here. It's hard to get here, and it's even harder to win. Just goes to show Penrith have been here, done it, and you got to give them a lot of credit and a lot of respect for what they've done over the past 4 or 5 years. But yeah, we got a lot of guys that this is biggest game of our careers. So that's a real learning, and like Craig said, sort of mentioned it earlier, we're keeping our squad together. We're adding to our squad. We'll be more experienced and better for the run next season.
Craig, how much do you think you missed Nelson in the middle tonight, just his power and I guess the way the game played out territorially?
Yeah, I think we did miss him without a doubt. Like, I'd be lying if I said we didn't miss him. We were struggling to make metres early, and I think that's one of his real strengths. So we certainly missed him without a doubt. Yeah.
Craig, there was a moment ago there with 10 minutes left. I think you had a penalty goal. You were scrapping and clawing to get back into it. Was that call from the coach's box to play on? Did you want to take the 2 points then?
No, actually, I was just thinking about the 2 points, and then the tap comes. So, at the end of the day, I wasn't strong on either decision. I'd probably, if we had a bit more time to think about it, probably would have took the 2, and then we're 6 behind. But at the end of the day, it's they got back up there after and as well, and they took a tap. They could have kicked another 2 points as well. So I don't think that was the wrong decision, right decision. They can work out either ways. And so just going on with what we talked about, with the experience and that. I was just looking through our 2020 side, during the week, and we had 9 players from that squad that actually played against us this year. In other teams. So like Harry said, it was an inexperienced team for playing in the grand final, so hopefully, we can build on that next year and go from there, because we're not losing too many other squad.
Harry, just on what George was asking before about the bite, or the alleged bite, did you get a sense of whether there was something accidental that happened out there?
I don't need to make a comment on it. They'll sort that out themselves, and I don't think didn't look. I don't know. You can make your own sort of opinion and judgment on it. I get the same look as what you guys do. So like I said, I don't need to comment on it. They've put it on report and they'll look into it. But
Craig, you had a few injuries in the game last week. How are those guys? Were guys going into that game busted today, or?
No, they were okay. Again, probably weren't quite 100%, but they're good enough to play. So, you're not going to rule a guy out, a grand final if he, thinks he can get his job done. And I don't think that was the reason, that the result was what it was tonight.